I call Phil Twyford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Back in May, on May the 24th, I listened to the Prime Minister say this in the budget debate. In the end, he said, when you spend more money than you earn, it's called grease and you go broke. And since then, we've had a number of statements in this House by National Party ministers who have used the example of Greece. And they've basically said, sir, that if we don't sell the assets, we're going to end up like Greece. If we don't follow the National Party's economic prescription, we're going to end up like Greece. Now, this got me thinking, sir, because I've been wondering in recent months what economic model the government is following with regards to transport, where they have proceeded to spend billions and billions of dollars of New Zealand's taxes on a series of white elephant motorway projects without providing a shred of evidence that they will promote economic growth. So I went back and I did some reading about Greece and the countries of southern Europe that have been so badly affected by the global financial crisis, sir. And I found some really interesting information that I wanted to share with the House. What I learned about Greece, sir, is in the years leading up to the Greek financial meltdown, Greece invested 20 billion euros on motorways between 1994 and 2004. Greece unleashed the biggest motorway building program that Europe has ever seen. 20 billion euros. Unbelievable. And what's more, actually, and this is really interesting for the members on the national side of the House, in light of the fact that this government wants to start borrowing to fund the roads of national significance. What's really interesting is that between 1991 and 2005, sir, Greece borrowed 4.7 billion euros to fund this extraordinary motorway building binge up and down Greece, sir. It's incredible. It's amazing. And I also found, when I began to look into the Greek model of economic development, I also found that they had a 10-point plan. That rings bells, sir. That rings bells. They were cutting public service jobs. They privatised the National Railway, and they established a super ministry. So it's becoming very clear, sir. The more we look into the Greek economic model, it bears an uncanny resemblance to the economic development model that we've seen coming from this national government, sir. And it's all become clear. So, sir, I bring this information to the House tonight in the interests of illuminating the debate and explaining to New Zealanders that there is, in fact, method to Stephen Joyce and Bill English and John Key's madness, sir. It's not just a random collection of 10-point plans and glossy booklets. There is actually a plan, and it is the Greek economic model, and we can see it coming through, sir, most clearly with regard to this government's transport policy. And I have to ask, sir, whether or not it's any coincidence that the former Transport Minister, Stephen Joyce, was known in this House as the Colossus of Roads. That's very spooky. It's deeply unnerving and deeply unsettling, sir. So we know that this government is not following the Finnish model. They've made it very clear they don't like the Finnish model, they don't believe in it. I've been wondering in recent days, in fact, whether they've been following the Muldoon model with the roads of national significance, because this hand-picked little group of mega projects costing billions and billions of dollars, hand-picked by the National Party, they've thrown billions and billions of dollars of taxes behind these projects, sir. They have a very dubious economic significance. And now we find out that the government, this national government, wants to borrow to fund these projects, as we found. Well, this is very reminiscent of the Think Big projects of the 1980s, sir. They want to saddle the future generations of New Zealanders with the costs of these ill-advised, hand-picked infrastructure projects, sir. It's absolute madness. But they say no, they're not Muldoonist, it's not Think Big. But what we can say today, sir, based on my extensive research, is that it is the Greek economic model that underlies this government's transport policy. borrowing billions and billions of dollars and pouring them into these white elephant motorway projects.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. The time has
model.
come for me to leave the chair for the dinner break. This debate is interrupted. I shall resume the chair at 7:30.